Roger, Jerry. Beware. The band is very flaky this morning with 40 dB fades. Roger.
QSL. Yeah, I've been listening up and down, and you've got a really nice signal right now. Go ahead.
Roger. Well, I've just I've just experienced two 40 dB fades. One was for a couple of minutes, and the other one, the guy's still missing in action.
Okay, well, we probably won't have too long here. But anyway, yeah, you got a nice signal. The handle here is Gary, George Alpha Romeo Yankee, I think I said that. And running ICOM 7300 barefoot into an MFED half wave up about 30 feet. Go ahead.
Oh, Roger. Well, barefoot, we shall see. Mother Nature has not been nice this morning. I've never seen her quite as playing quite as dirty as this morning. I mean, she has just pulled the conditional rug right out from under us. But maybe it's just maybe she hadn't had her first cup of coffee or something. I'm not real sure, but just hang on to your seat, because it's going to be a bumpy flight.
Okay, good. Yeah, well, right now, man, you hit 20 over 9. That transmission. So. Anyway, what are you running? You running amplifier or what? Go ahead.
We're running a Yaesu 990 into a SB220. Now I'm running with the compressor on. I'm going to dump the compressor, see if it makes a difference. I'll do it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Compressor is out now. 1, 2, 3. Did that make much of a difference?
It's not a whole lot of difference. It's a little bit clearer without the compressor on, so I would just keep it off for right now, because it sounds just a little bit better to me. Go ahead. And I didn't notice any real signal degradation either. Go ahead.
Roger that. Let me, I just want to play with this compressor just for a minute. Let's see. Of course, I can't get to it. Hang on just a second. Let me make a critical adjustment here. All right, now I've got it cranked pretty hard. Audio check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The compressor is in now quite a bit. Is our signal pretty mushy?
Yeah, it's a little bit distorted. It might work in DX to make you stand down a little better, but boy, for just a normal QSO, it's not too pleasant to listen to.
Roger, absolutely. Well, I just was curious about that. I've been playing with that for a little bit, but you're right. I used it. Usually don't use it, but I used it last night. Probably about 2 o'clock this morning. California was coming in on 3817, and they were just 2 or 3 dB above a noise level, but I could hear them back in there, and they were having difficulty copying me, so I did punch up the processor, and that it helped them copy the mail. Roger.
Oh yeah, that helps sometimes there. Well, I'm running a little bit of compression here. Let me see if I don't know if I can adjust this thing, but I'm just curious if it makes any difference. Let me, okay, I got the compression on. It's not turned up too much. Okay, there it is with the compression off. 1, 2, 3, and then we'll turn it back on. Okay, 1, 2, 3, compression's back on. Did you really tell much different there? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Quite a bit. I like it with the compressor on. How much of the compression are you using?
Let's see. On the scale, let me check the. I forget what the scale of adjustment is. Let me just play with adjusting it here. Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, I've got it set to 3. Go ahead.
Roger, I would run with it that way. It's not obtrusive, and your modulation level went up about 3 decibels.
Okay, I guess it adds a little bit. Let me. Okay, let's see. Here's setting 3. This is setting 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is setting 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, any preference there?
Well, if I would run it at 5 if you needed. 3 is transparent; you can barely tell it, and then 4 and 5 it gets a little more pronounced. But I would just run it at 3 all the time. I mean, that's a clean compressor. It sounds good.
Okay, good. Well, I'll put it back to 4 and see how that works. And I never have really sat here and tried to play with these controls too much with anybody to see what difference it makes. I just set them rather conservatively and just been operating that way. Let me play with the mic gain here a little bit. Right now it's about 55%. Okay, there it is at 65%. And then there it is down at about 40%. So I don't know. Let's put it back to where I started. There it is at 55%. So I wonder if that made any difference. Go ahead.
Yes, sir, it did. From the standpoint of it tended to lose the top end when you brought the gain up. I'm not real sure what was happening there, but unless you were pulling off mic, if you were staying on mic that whole thing, it did tend to roll the top off when you went on up. Where you were working there at the beginning, that lower setting had a nice equalization on your microphone, Roger.
Okay, well, I'll leave it right there. I may have pulled away a little bit. I kind of move around a little bit, and I'm not sure exactly if I'm staying in the same position. But anyway, well, that's interesting. Let me try one other thing here. Let's see. I have my bandwidth set to the middle. Here's the bandwidth set to narrow. Here it is set to wide, and then here we are back to middle. So which sounds preferable there? Go ahead.
I like the middle because it's a nice little compromise between those two settings, and it puts you, in a pleasant situation, not muddy and not, top end all. Yeah, I like the middle real well, Roger.
Okay, good. Well, appreciate that. And let me see. Make sure I got your handle right. Is it Jim? I didn't even write it down. Is it Jim? Go ahead.
Roger, Juliet India Mike, and the call is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, and we're located near Louisville, on the Indiana side of the mighty Ohio River, right at Louisville.
Yeah, okay, Jim. My wife and I have been to Louisville a couple of times. We've gone to the KFC Young Center and stayed downtown there, and I guess we're just pretty close to being across the river from you. Go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. You are 3 miles from my location. 3 miles from downtown Louisville. Roger.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, we went to see a couple of concerts there. I think when George Strait was doing his farewell tour, my wife is a big fan, and so for her birthday or whatever, I got her tickets to the George Strait concert, and the only place I could still get decent tickets was in Louisville. So we just made a big, 2-3 day driving trip and drove from here to Louisville, saw the concert, drove home. It was a lot of fun. Go ahead.
Roger. Now, what is your QTH?
Ashburn, the QTH is Ashburn, Virginia. It's a suburb of Washington, D.C., out near Dulles Airport. Go ahead.
Roger, Jerry. And what kind of antenna are you running there?
So I'm running an infed half wave cut for 40 meters. It's configured as an inverted L. It goes vertical probably about 30 feet and horizontal about 35 feet. It's about the best I could do to put up here in the HOA configuration where it's easy to put up and down and not too visible to the neighbors. Let's see, I better ID, KC9VKV, this is WA5QWQ.
This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. Yeah, I'm been playing around with my dipoles, and I just use the negative side, the ground side for SWR adjustments, and the high side to bring it back on frequency and back and forth, and wound up with a 1.01 to 1 times 3. I've got a 40, a 20, and a 15 up there, and tuning it that method, you know, you can just zero that SWR down to a 1.01 to 1, Roger.
Oh, okay, good. Good deal. Well, it's doing a great job for you. Mine, right now, I don't have the antenna tuner engaged or anything, and it's running about 1.1 to 1. Here on this frequency, it's pretty good antenna. And I've also, it also operates on the harmonics, 20 meters, 15 meters, and 10 meters, and it does a pretty good job there. So band conditions up there are so horrible, about all I operate is 75 meters and 40 meters. Trying to do a little bit of 20 every now and then, but yeah, I don't know, it'll probably be 2 or 3 years yet before the band starts turning around from the way I understand the sunspot cycle. Go ahead.
Roger that. Well, I'm ready for it, man. This morning has really frightened me. I am not real familiar with 40 dB fades, you know, where somebody's doing 1500 watts, giving you a 40 over, and then they're gone into your noise, and you can't even hear them back in there, you know. And the first time it happened, it was just for a couple of minutes, but then the last time it got to be 10 minutes, you know. Finally, I called off the search, presumed everyone had perished.
Yeah, I've had that happen a few times. You know, I like to operate CW too, and start answering a guy who's 20 over S9, and before you can finish exchanging the usual signal report QTH, he fades away to almost nothing. So, and that's probably going to happen here anytime in the next few minutes. Go ahead.
Roger, yeah, we're pushing our luck for sure today anyway. So you're a fist pounder. How's that work? I mean, you know, did you learn that to get your license or what?
Yeah, I've been licensed since I was like 12 years old. Back in 1965 is when I got my novice license, and I learned, you know, listening to, I got a code practice oscillator from Night Kit, and listened to W1AW on shortwave receiver, Hallicrafter's S40 that my grandfather gave me, and listened to W1AW and pretty much just learned the code kind of brute force without a whole lot of instruction. And passed my novice, and then a year later got my general, and you know, use a straight key. I haven't learned to use a bug or a side swipe or anything. I guess I need to start doing that because my old wrist is beginning to give out on me. I'm 64 years old now. I've been retired for 1 year now, so I'm trying to really get back into ham radio, and I'm going to have to do something else for a key because the straight key kind of, you know, after a long QSO, the old wrist begins to bother me. KC9VKV, WA5QWQ.
Roger. Now, you might look into ergonomics as far as some kind of a thing to put on your wrist as you activate your key. Some of that stuff that they've developed for keyboards gives a lot of strain relief to your wrist, you know, and it's really helped out some of those folks, you know, on the verge of carpal tunnel, you know, problems, and that ergonomic situation with that ramp kind of up to the keyboard really helped out a bunch. So you might, you know, consider something like that for your keyboard, Roger.
Yep, that's a good suggestion. Yeah, I didn't think about that like I would for a computer keyboard, but yeah, I need to come up with a little better situation for that. And I've got one of those wrist supports that I wear. Well, I try to wear it as much as I can when I sleep at night, because I've noticed too that sometimes I'll sleep and get my wrist in some kind of configuration while I'm asleep, and the wrist will bother me in the morning. So I started sleeping with this wrist support on, and that seems to help quite a bit. But I have noticed that some of my pain issues are directly correlated to how much CW I operate. So that's made me start thinking about getting either one of the side swiper type keys and learn how to use the keyer, or maybe I'll really cheat and just get one of those computer applications where you can send the code from typing on your computer. Go ahead.
Oh, roger that, roger that. Yeah, all kind of variations, you know, the things that can be of benefit to solving the problem. I've learned that Google knows everything. So if I ever have any questions, I just Google it, you know, and I'm amazed, constantly amazed by the amount of information on the varied topics that Google has. I mean, it just re-emphasizes the point that nobody is walking by themselves. There's always somebody that has been walking in front of you that has chosen to leave words on rocks. You know, you just have to look.
Oh yeah, that's true. I've used that many times, and that YouTube to find videos. Like one of the things I did just a few weeks ago was repair my kitchen sink faucet. It Googled the name and model number and how do you repair it, and got a couple of videos that showed me exactly what to do and what parts to buy. So that was really great. Probably saved me $200 or $300 for getting a plumber to come out and replace it. Go ahead.
Oh, roger that. Yeah, I used it to, I had a Maytag washer, and so I Googled that, and it took me to a YouTube page, and that was a guy that had 30 or 40 years experience as your Maytag repairman, and he knew exactly what to do. There was one pin that you had to take care of, and then the whole thing opened up like an onion, you know. And if you didn't know where that one pin was, you you could take 2 months with a sledgehammer and couldn't open things up, Roger.
Oh yeah, that's the way a lot of things are, and it's the combination of knowing what to do and then having the right tools to do it. So it makes the job so much easier. Because I know I've torn into a few things in years past, you know, before you had YouTube and all that. And you're not quite sure how something comes apart, so you tear it up trying to get it apart, and then you can't put it back together. I've run into that a number of times.
Roger, and you feel so foolish because usually it was such a simple thing, but just not knowing exactly how it worked, you know, that's the thing, and that's what YouTube is good at be revealing by those guys that are master equipment manipulators of that particular device that you've got. You know, they've been there and they know exactly what to do. So we thank God for Google and YouTube, and hopefully they will be of service to everybody, you know, as time continues. And this thing about, well, you know, politics today, some of those folks, Facebook, and, you know, want to try to play politics sometimes with, you know, their situation in life, as opposed to just being glad to be there, you know, and that's unfortunate because, well, anyway, it's a long story, you know it.
Oh, yeah, it's, I don't know, when you get to trying to filter out what people are trying to say, you run into all kinds of inconsistencies in the way they deal with people based on the biases and opinions of the people with the filter. That always leads to problems. So it's kind of like the Starbucks incident where they arrested these two guys. You know, so it's not clear what they're going to do, because it sounds like it's going to be okay to just go sit in a Starbucks and not buy any coffee and do whatever you want, or else, you know, I don't understand what it is they're going to train their people to do. But anyway, but all that to me just comes back from inconsistent enforcement of their policies, which just leads to nothing but trouble.
Oh, that's it, Roger. You know, and obviously the main boss wasn't there, who would have some finesse to be able to handle the situation without creating World War III. That's the whole thing about management. They have the gift of gab and the ability to take a mountain and make it a molehill instead of the other way around. Roger.
Yep, that's true. If they know how to spin a situation to either solve a problem or to keep it from happening. But anyway, but that's, I don't know, people seem like they're going crazy here lately. It's certainly things have gotten a lot better in the last year, or at least as far as my financial situation. I feel a lot more comfortable now that I'm retired than I did a couple of years ago. So it's been a good thing. But if we can just keep people from going nuts, all these shootings and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's, I don't know why these people have problems, and we just need to figure out a way to identify them before things get out of hand. Anyway, KC9VKV, WA5QWQ.
Roger, Jerry, KC9VKV. Yeah, I'm glad to see that you took early retirement by a couple of years, Roger.
Yeah, let's see, I retired 1 year ago. I'm 63, and I guess that's a couple of years early. And got a really good pension from my company. I've been working with them for 41 years, so pension works out really great. My wife has been really frugal, so we've saved a lot. So I think, as long as the economy doesn't tank or anything, we'll be doing okay with it.
Oh, Roger, that. Come up on mic a little bit. Let me see if you might have gotten a little lax there. Come up on mic some.
Okay, yeah, I was drifting away there. I'm using a headset, and every now and then I'll turn my head and get away from the microphone a little bit, so that should be better, right? Roger that. Yeah, it really helps. Were you still running that number 3 level compression? Actually, it's on 4 right now. I put it up to 4.
Roger, sounds good, man. I'd run it like that. I would run it like that. And you're doing 100 watts now?
Yep. Shows 100% output, 100 watts. So if you believe the power meter on the rig, that should be what's going out today.
Roger. Well, I can't believe we've had conditions for this long. As mad as Mother Nature has been this morning, I'm surprised we haven't faded all the way out. But anyway, I wanted to tell you we're rolling tape on this QSO. We have a QSO-VLOG page on YouTube that we post our QSO'S. And if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will bring up our QSO-VLOG page, and right at the top of that page there's one that has 180 QSO'S in it, and if you click on that, our QSO here should be up towards the top of that, just under Art Bell. Roger.
I'll do that, Jim. That's kind of a neat way to log your QSO'S, and then you go back and actually listen to what you talked about. You never had time. But I'll check that out, because that's a lot of fun. And one of the guys, I forget the guy's call letter, but he's up in New England area that does different YouTube videos on building antennas and one thing and another, and I've listened to several of them, and I happened to run into him on 40 meters one day, and he did the same thing. He was testing a loop antenna that he had just built, a mag loop, and he used my QSO in his video that he posted. I go back and look at it every now and then, so now I have something else to show people. Says, hey, that's me on the radio. KC9VKV, WA5QWQ.
Roger, Jerry. Yeah, we take direct from the audio out on the receiver into our mixer for the QSO-VLOGs. Whereas, a lot of folks on YouTube, they just use the camera microphone, and the QSO sounds more like the guy's room than reality. So we don't have any room discolorations. It's all direct, so probably about as clean as you can get. And we pay a particular attention to the front end sensitivity of the receiver, only cranking in enough RF gain to get the job done. So it's like copying CW, you know, and we're not interjecting more RF than what we need to get the job done. Roger?
Oh yeah, I do that every now and then myself, especially when you got a nice signal and you can cut out a lot of the background noise and lightning crashes and whatnot. And it does, like I said, you don't get a good S-meter reading, but you do copy it a lot better and a lot cleaner for the audio goes. Well, anyway, Jim, I need to get out of here. Let's see, what is it, almost 11? Yeah, almost 11 here. So, I need to go up and check through the XYL and see what the plans, what my plans are for today. So anyway, we're going to say 73s to you, and certainly enjoyed it. And I can't believe we've held up this long. You're still coming in, you know, good 10 over S9 for the most part. Really nice signal. So we must have a good pipeline between Virginia and well, I'm starting to say Kentucky, but you're in Indiana, I believe. Anyway, we'll say 73s to you, and listen for your final there, KC9VKV, WA5QWQ.
Roger, Jerry. Well, you have a real good day. Like I say, you have been consistently above the noise all the time. Sometimes, you know, it was an ebb and flow, but you'll be able to hear your audio and, you know, get an honest reflection of it. So, you know, then you can take steps. I like the way you're running the compressor now. I think it adds, you know, the whole secret to audio signal is average percentage of modulation. You know, without the compressor, your average percentage of modulation is probably you know, down quite a bit, and then when you start compressing that, your average peaks start coming up, and so your station sounds louder. And, you know, that's what it's all about, getting from one point to the other that folks can hear you. Anyway, threes there, Jerry. Good to talk to you, sir. And like I say, I'll post this in the next few days. You have a real good day, and we'll catch you later. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor, Kilo Victor.